where there's so much on the line, because whoever loses this is back in challenges next season. It'll be kicking off in a few weeks' time. And the person who managed to win, well, I think in 2 weeks, they'll be up at the QPL stage.
You got to get over the hump. You got to earn your spot, and then you can play in the bracket, and we'll see who it's going to be. Is spart1e going to defend his spot, or is CNZ going to take over and say, this is my town now?
It absolutely could do. I really can see CNZ earning his position in the QPL. I think a lot of people were doubting him at the beginning of Challenge. I think he wasn't even on very many people's radar. You have players who are like the Buxter, the Picava, Silence that was coming out of nowhere. Neutrino there, of course. I'm sure there's a plethora of other names that we could apply there. But then CNZ just start signing up for challenges, and we're like, oh yeah, CNZ can do damage to people here. Oh, and obviously it was like Cypher and maybe Sirius who were kind of like highlighting at the beginning, but then CNZ's like blip, 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 and just kind of climbing and climbing and climbing. And there was a point where we thought he was actually even going to be the leader, the person who would take the most points, as he was getting victories over Cypher. His practice games have been looking solid. But you know what? spart1e is also being looking solid lately, and it looks as if we can get ourselves into the game. The best of 5 is beginning. We are on Corrupted Keep. Let's get the show on the road.
Right into it here with CNZ on that Sorlag. Gets the Mega. Ooh, right behind him, drops spart1e. And that's a bit of an awkward positioning, because usually you get the LG right off the bat. Now he's going to have to wait. Doubles back, no big deal, just a slight delay in his plans here. LG on LG right off the bat, still holding onto that spit. spart1e taking a lot of damage here, and CNZ holding his ground. Doesn't even use the spit, can use it off the spawn if he wants, but instead the heavy machine gun off the spawn is going to pepper into spart1e, and it's gonna hurt. That's
actually crazy that CNZ stayed up there the entire time. I think spart1e was pre-aiming as if he was going to drop down any moment. And CNZ was just up there, strong, stable, sorted, and up first on the frags.
But LG coming out the preemptive spit, trying to lob it over that ledge, but the LG is going to be so spot on. spart1e trying to fight for his life with a shotgun, but no dice. Grabbing those shards and immediately making his way over to the rockets for a little bit of defensive play there. You want to keep those out of your opponent's hands as long as you can. The heavy armor is going to be picked up, a little bit of rocket damage. The LG won't connect, but CNZ looking very strong as he doubles back towards the Mega.
Yeah, has Mega, now the light armor. Got a lot of armor to fill up, and will manage to get there. Tribolt not connecting for spart1e. It's going to be a jump close. This Tribolt does connect a little more. And CNZ's positioning versus the Tribolt was not bad. A little blip of damage, but he still has a pretty healthy stack. And it looks as if CNZ's going to be good for the heavy, but there's a sudden attack from spart1e, trying to block off the one choke point. But still trying to understand where is spart1e on the radar. There's going to be a stray rocket working for him. Oh, the defensive rocket into Mega Health, and the timing just to make sure he doesn't get hit by the acid either. That was beautifully done from spart1e.
Really, really well done there. Now he has the stack advantage. CNZ stuck in the red room. A rocket goes flying under the skateboard there. No damage for CNZ. Still reeling a little bit here. There's a little bit of an LG tickle. spart1e goes by through the rocket room, and it might be a fight for the heavy, and CNZ wisely decides not to as the LG and Tribolt keep him at bay.
This is really difficult now for CNZ. He's got not even 100 health, no armor. spart1e is fully loaded, ready to go, has items to pick up too. He's got his injection available. He's fully stacked anyway, so he can load himself up more. This is going to be a kill for spart1e as he finds himself on the board.
That was a beautiful kill there. Had the inject, didn't worry about the spit at all. Takes the frag rather easily, and he has a lot of stack to work with too. And here's the LG again as CNZ goes flying down the statue. Needs to be careful here. Takes a little bit more damage from the Tribolt and gets picked out of the sky with the shotgun. spart1e says, pull, and frags that dinosaur into oblivion. Extinction even.
That was just nasty, man. Oh, the Tribolt again. spart1e was a little weak with it early on, but is now making very good use of that weapon. Control is slightly shared for the moment. CNZ obviously lacking some armor, but otherwise his health is not too bad. Getting some tasty rockets in too. Heavy will be up in 5 seconds, and CNZ looks like his objectives might be elsewhere.
Wants no part of that heavy armor. spart1e grabbing those shards. He's going to have inject back in about 20. LG on LG here. CNZ a little bit early on that Mega. It's going to spawn. It's going to tempt fate here. 100 damage rocket, and that is going to leave CNZ reeling even after the pickup.
He finds 2 25s to heal. That light is now up, but there is no time for him as spart1e is going to fly into the lead. Again, his control is kind of weak. There's going to be one good rocket, and the follow-up rocket from CNZ is great. With the heavy afterward, this is good timing for some kills, but it's still immensely close, obviously, between these two.
4 minutes in, and he drops down with the rocket and puts it right in Spart1e's pocket. 4-3 for CNZ, looking really strong now. So he makes his way over to the red room. Spart1e gets caught out. The switch to rockets again, and nets him another frag. Spart1e trying a little bit too hard off the spawn there. Maybe thought he had CNZ a little bit lower than he did.
I love that we're getting fights on multiple items, not just the majors. It's all over the place. Spart1e known for his timing. CNZ control is up there with the best. He's got to watch out for these rockets because Spart1e, he's feeling energized from all the health and armor that he's got. CNZ's got to defend his position somehow.
Spart1e not afraid to jump through that window. He got a frag there earlier here. CNZ almost sneaks in behind him. Decent rocket, all things considered there. 52 damage. The heavy's going to be up next. I don't know if CNZ can make there in time. He might just opt to spam some nails outside the telly. Indeed, he does as Spit comes back up, and Spart1e wisely decides, I'm not going to go that way. I hear all that.
CNZ's been very passive on the heavy. He's often not gone into a challenge for it, and he doesn't really try to actively go for the damage either. If Spart1e takes it, he kind of lays back. He's like, I'll do damage to him later. That's no problem. But I feel like he might be giving Spart1e a bit of confidence. And Anarchy, with this amount of health, this amount of armor, the ability up, is usually feeling pretty damn good. Moving in at the moment, the acid spit did go down, but Spart1e's just got so much health and armor that he is fine to make it 4-5. He'll get himself some health to stop that damage over time, and he's still looking good.
Yeah, definitely restacking really quickly. He's going to miss out on the Mega, but that's going to be okay. Taking a lot of damage. That's not going to be okay as the LG from CNZ relentless in the Boneyard.
That was so fast from CNZ. There's going to be rockets in there, not hitting too hard. Spart1e on 50 health. This light, is it going to be up soon? Got to watch out for those nails a little bit. Spart1e is so low, but there's no more lightning gun ammunition. CNZ knows that heavy's up immediately afterwards. It's not bad. Oh, he just gets the click, but he's got a bit of extra ammunition now. 60 health of Spart1e. The nails doing everything, and Spart1e is going to come back into it.
Just running into the string of nails, and that is going to hurt there. 5-6. He's going to get caught out. There's the spit. Spart1e looking for the rockets. Can he hit him? No. The nails from CNZ, too strong. Takes him out in the red room. That's going to be 7-5 with less than 4 minutes remaining.
He knows the rotation of that light over to heavy, but he just feels a little bit anxious that Spart1e could just swoop in on that item, take it by surprise. Alga's not too bad, but he might have to think about giving this up. He still forces himself towards the mega health, but it was a risk that was not worth taking. Big punish from Spart1e.
What a denial rocket, saying, yeah, go for it, I dare you, and then absolutely obliterating him. What a rocket by Spart1e.
Spart1e has a moment to think, but it's rudely interrupted. Has got their heavy. Would have been nice to still have some health to work with. But Mega will be up shortly. Again, landing good shots. Has to respect the acid spit a little bit. CNZ this time will survive getting the Mega health.
He still has inject though, so after grabbing this 50, he could put on a little bit more pressure here as CNZ doesn't have any armor. Spart1e looking for a little bit of damage outside the telly. He's finally going to pop the inject. CNZ nowhere to be found. He's hunting a little bit in the red room. LG on LG here. He's going to swap to machine gun, but nothing doing as CNZ has to double back. Has to try and stay alive, but unfortunately runs right into Spart1e as he holds his ground. That's going to tie it at 7.
Very smart positioning from Spart1e. CNZ expecting him to be over at the heavy already, but he's just faking things out and looking good doing it. Little flick rocket trying to hit it. CNZ still actually has some health to work with. Spart1e has to leave there. So close for this to be CNZ taking the lead again.
Spart1e taking a lot of damage. There's the spit. Nothing will connect. Spart1e needs to be careful with where he lands. There's the LG CNZ. There's nothing scarier than a dinosaur with a lightning gun. 8-7, 8 minutes in. CNZ trying to make this a wider gap here. Spart1e keeping it very close.
Yeah, Spart1e did not realize that he was sneaking up behind him, was so quick with the movement to get himself into that rocket ammo box position. Still a bit of time until the items are up, but CNZ certainly has to think about how he wants to approach this heavy. Spart1e just falls back down. CNZ, it's a bit dangerous for him to go in too close, so again, he looks for that sort of passive play where he can hope for some exit damage. And there will be mega health up shortly. Jumping down is going to be too much. He needs to hit some rockets. That is his best way forward.
Decent rocket and spit damage there. And now spart1e's stuck behind the statue, and this is a bad position here. Both players peppering with machine gun, and the CNZ takes, I guess, the brunt of it. That looked brutal here. LG comes out, 225s for CNZ. LG on LG. spart1e again trying to get as much damage as he can with a minute left. CNZ is in the lead by 1. Pressure's on spart1e here. CNZ positioning for this mega. It's going to be up right now, and that's going to make that dinosaur big and dangerous.
That was a really good play from CNZ to get himself onto the heavy. It's allowed him to get onto 2 major items in a row. spart1e is definitely in a weak spot, has to have a good challenge on the next 2 major items, but those rockets from CNZ, he's looking to take another one. He just goes of the acid spit, finds the LG at the end. That was a truckload of damage, and now spart1e's back against the wall, sailing through the air, but hitting some remarkably good rockets. Oh, I think there, 40, that was the nail in the coffin with that last super shotgun frag.
Unless we see a miracle here. 20 seconds left. spart1e doesn't have a choice. He has to grab LG and just push. Around the corner he goes. CNZ ready with an LG of his own. The shotgun comes out from spart1e, trying to do anything he can to frag this dinosaur, but with 10 seconds remaining, it looks like CNZ has taken the first map.
He's done very well. It's been a sort of back and forth affair. The brilliant corrupted keep. I think he's had a very interesting control game there, but he bit when it mattered, and he managed to reap the rewards from it. CNZ goes 1-0 up in this final relegation match. This is something that you would have expected, because I know, again, that you're trying to get the download a bit on CNZ, but what were your thoughts going in, and how do you feel this may have changed it, if at all?
I think spart1e played pretty solid. It was a couple minor mistakes. It's going to be a big tell on the next map where there's actually a rail, again, to see if spart1e kind of plays more back rail, more aggressive with the shots and stuff like that. The rockets and rails, shotgun even, fantastic, though, from both players on this one. Quite the way to start the series. I think CNZ coming out with a big win is going to be really, really good for his confidence moving forward in this series. And we'll see if spart1e can bounce back. Again, the differential wasn't that big. A lot of good plays from spart1e. It was just a couple heavies and megas here and there. Look at this, the aggression.
That was crazy. He almost got pushed out of the map.
Yeah.
The potency.
Should have counted as 2 frags. If you frag him and their dead body goes out outside of the map, that should too.
But I thought it was a really good performance from CNZ. I was scared that he was being a bit passive sometimes with his approach to the heavy armor. But when it mattered, he would go in. He was very smart with the positioning and understanding, okay, this is the best time to go to the heavy armor. And then actually how he maximizes the rewards that he gets from it in entirety. It was very smartly done.
Look at these rockets. Yeah, very intelligent play here, not willing to risk his life. And then spart1e kind of Hail Mary at that point. He's like, less than a minute left. I got a shotgun. You're up there. I got to take this trampoline and try and frag you, but nothing doing. The spit in the face and the LG. And again, big confidence boost for a series like this. Going in against spart1e, trying to get your spot in the Quake Pro League, starting off with a map #1 win is going to be huge for CNZ.
Well, we should be getting a Nyx versus Visor next on Blood Covenant. That's a bit of a sort of El Clasico in terms of matchups playing out. But here we can see some stats that we had. We had 36% LG in the end. And you can see that he didn't go for heavy that much, but we saw in the gameplay how effective each one of those heavy armors was. His mega health play was strong, but I always feel like sometimes it's a red herring for an Anarchy to be going for the mega health all the time when you have got that injection. But the thing is, when spart1e was getting control of everything, which was definitely occasionally, he had so much stack to work with, which helped him play against that sort of robust Sorlag.
Have the stack and then can pop inject mid-fight, could escape, and that's going to be huge. But yeah, a lot of the times you see the Anarchies just kind of settling for heavy and popping inject, being like, I got a pocket mega, I'm just going to use that instead. But it's so much easier when you can control the whole map. We saw spart1e take a couple cycles, but CNZ did a good job of getting back in and not allowing it to get too out of control.
So I believe we've got Visor versus Nyx coming up next. Should be spart1e with the Nyx, CNZ with the Visor. I've personally slightly favored Nyx's in recent history. But I
on
think
Blood Covenant, right?
Yeah, I think this is still a very close match just when you're looking at the champions. However, we will look at these two different champions in a moment as they are getting themselves into the map.
Map #2, we'll see if mobility is going to be the key difference here. Nyx with that wall jump can move around at the top of the map fairly easily. CNZ with the Visor can see everything, and there it is. Pops the vision immediately to get the data, and we'll see if he can use it wisely here as he tries to hold off on the rocket launcher. A little bit of tri-bolt damage. Nothing too critical here. spart1e makes his way onto the rockets.
very sort of casual approach. He has got the lightning gun to work with, but he really wants to get onto more of the trifecta. spart1e's just going to dance through. Rockets will be picked up when it's safe to do so. A slightly aggressive push onto Rockets, but it seemed incredibly calculated from CNZ, and he's going to be more than in time for his mega health, and he might start thinking about the railgun soon too. Just doesn't want to miss those chances to get damage if spart1e goes up the bounce pad like that. All of a sudden, spart1e having done that, he can't really go to rail comfortably anymore.
No,
back away.
Yeah, it was definitely a bad touch here, and CNZ has to wait a little bit longer. Does have vision, finally pops it now to get the information, trying to make sure it's clear. Might even get some damage on this heavy here. There's the LG, there's the rail right off the bat, and says, well, get off of me. Get out of here. spart1e trying to make the play now. Here he comes. Rocket comes out, swap to rail, not going to land. Again,
Whoa.
CNZ dancing. He's going to eat one rail, finally down to 100 HP, no armor. Is spart1e going to chase? It looks like he's right above him here, going up the jump pad for the top green armor.
Since they can always fall back to the pillars and get himself onto 100-100. It's always nice also to take those hourglasses when possible, because as either Nyx or Visor, you don't want to be letting each other get that ability up sooner. Great timing on that from CNZ. Has the mega health in hand. spart1e, although he has the heavy, it only does limited amounts when you are a light champion, and this heavy machine gun work has been very good. spart1e's not really hitting enough at the moment, it feels like.
Yeah, the rail's not landing for spart1e, and that could be disastrous here. Unfortunately for CNZ, doesn't have the vision to pop after the Ghost Walk was forced out. And CNZ tries to rocket jump over, he's going to miss, but he's going to swap to machine gun, and that's going to leave him an opening for a little bit of damage, but spart1e will claim the heavy. As the shards go in, vision comes back up, and again, CNZ not afraid to pop it immediately, and those rockets are going to send him flying right onto the mega. Luckily for him, the LG comes out. Can he find the frag? Both players extremely weak. spart1e grabs a 25 on the way out, as does CNZ, and they disengage from the simulator, but that was so incredibly close to our first frag.
spart1e's pushing at the boat out on that side as well. Great rocket from up above. Is this going to be the first kill on Blood Covenant with the shotgun dancing across the pillars? spart1e get himself a small lead. There's so much more to fight for on this map. CNZ was not able to get the rail for the entire duration just then. I think spart1e's done a fantastic job of denying that weapon.
And he's starting to hit the rails. He's heating up here, looking for the third as the jump over from CNZ comes out. He really wants that rail. spart1e misses with the third. But two good, quick rails here. Going up the jump pad, a little bit of shotgun, forces out the Ghost Walk here. And CNZ, again, doesn't have the vision when he needs it. He's popping it aggressively for data right off the bat, and he's not waiting to try and counter that Nyx Ghost Walk.
Uh-oh, this is pretty bad for CNZ. Oh, he sneaks away just in time. Fully railable for a second. But he gets himself heavy and is pushing spart1e out a bit. spart1e still doesn't have the Ghost Walk for 10 seconds.
Oh.
He can put on the pressure. Mega health is up. CNZ still knows exactly where he is. Oh, the direct.
That was pretty.
Pretty scary for spart1e.
It's a spicy meatball. Maybe a spicy Swedish meatball. But 1-0, 345 in with a dropping rail. Fantastic shot from spart1e, but he's absolutely reeling after the damage. He's going to grab a 25. He's still extremely weak. One more 25. Ghost Walk is up. And now he looks a little bit healthier. He might even make a play on this. Great rail, forces out the Ghost Walk, and almost gets the damage. What a flick from spart1e, and the rails are coming out now, Zoot. This is super dangerous for CNZ.
That was insane. I think he got the perforation damage too. That was disgusting from spart1e.
Just, yeah, everything went right for spart1e right there. Uh-oh, now it's turning around real quickly. spart1e finally hits a rail, forcing CNZ back, but CNZ looked like he was just going to keep chunking damage. Misses with the rail there. spart1e trying to fight from below with rockets. Great rail again. spart1e hitting these crazy rails. He's going to swap to rockets, and that's going to be 3-0. CNZ is looking a little flustered here as spart1e again lighting up with the rails.
spart1e's hitting. That's a scary thing for CNZ. CNZ's doing okay with his control. Oh, we have got the heavy all of a sudden, but spart1e's still delivering with the railgun. Needs to back away a bit. Lands one more. There's going to be him falling into the shadows. Is he going to have a chance for another? Knows he's so close, but CNZ, I don't think he can take the risk and lose out on another.
So weak as spart1e grabs the mega. CNZ trying to fight for his life here. spart1e is going to find another rail opportunity. The LG comes out instead. There's the rail.
Wow.
The swap is perfect. The shot lands 4-0. And this is what I was hoping for. Spart1e popping off with rails, playing confidently. And he's just hitting everything he needs to right now. He is going to concede on the heavy and try and stack back up in this pillar room here, but with a lead 4-0. It's looking pretty good for Spart1e. Another great rail. That one was free.
Yeah, we have seen a full half of the map now of Spart1e being more or less in dominating control. Now if CNZ wants to turn it around, this control has got to be all him in the second part of the map. And well, now 6 minutes, he's still struggling with that because Spart1e's damage is probably over 1,000 at this point with just the railgun. And CNZ, I feel like, has had minimal usage on it. And that control, too, from Spart1e, his timing's been extraordinarily good. This is, yeah, this is very, very scary for CNZ.
Definitely an uphill battle here. Still within the realm of possibilities, but again, rails like that, I don't... Just looking for the angle. Is he going to find it? Spart1e is.
Oh, God.
Wow. Oh, no.
What mega health.
Oh, no. Spart1e's just popping off with the rails, man. This is not good. Just mistimes. The spawn almost gets it up the jump pad regardless. 640 in, 5-0 Spart1e. Looking so good with these rails here. And as I say that, missing that fantastic...
Come on, his accuracy's got to be like 60+%. Need to see those stats at the end, okay? It's all about that.
Ooh. Ghost walks out. CNZ rocket jumps out of there immediately. Again, not having the vision after the ghost walk. I think that may be the bane of his existence as the LG comes out on top of that green armor. Spart1e melts him 6-0. Looking so strong on Blood Covenant right now.
CNZ not going to go over to Nails, so spawn damage won't come into play. Another rail, a little freebie going up the bounce pad.
Oh.
The disgustingly good rail shot. Another with the HMG. Might look for a rail as he goes down towards the pillars. He's fairly far away. Knows he's by the hourglasses. Great rocket. Here's a follow-up. Shotgun doesn't work the first time round, but it will the second. It's 7-0. Spart1e is having a flawless game on Blood Covenant.
Oh my goodness. Spart1e popping off the spawn 2 in a row. He's weak, he's still hitting rails.
There's Mega up.
And he wants another one. Almost gets it, 71 HP. No regard for his own life anymore, up 8-0. He's playing fast and loose, and that's the way he likes it here. 8 minutes in, I don't know if CNZ can come back. He's gonna have to play perfectly, and it's gonna have to be magical if he wants to even get back into this. And with rockets like that, that's a no. That's a big stop on that one.
I mean, he could drop down with a lightning gun if he wanted, but he's just holding this high position.
I think he wants the shutout. I don't want to give you a frag.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's still playing safely. You know, he might be going in all of these rail fights, but he feels good. He's a bit low at the moment. There's a light to pick up. Ghost walks up, so he's not in a huge amount of danger. There's just nothing negative to say about what Spart1e's doing on this map because everything is working for him, and yeah, everything's perfect.
There's one rocket, there's another rocket, and the third rocket. That's a three-piece right there. I like that. With a drink, 9-0, 8:45 in. I think this is all but done and dusted as CNZ needs to try to gain his composure going into the next one. Maybe even say, you know what, your rail's kind of strong. Maybe I should play defensively around the rail if I can get a good spawn.
I mean, I want to say that maybe CNZ at the beginning not going for the rail early enough.
Well, he was locked out, it felt like, almost. Spart1e did a really good job.
There was a chance when he decided to go for damage up the bounce pad instead of going for the rail. And it's small things like that. It's like, what kind of opportunities could CNZ have built if he actually had the rail gun in the first 2 minutes? But, I mean, considering it's been consistently 9 minutes of brilliant play from Spart1e, I don't even know if it would have mattered. Spart1e's been supreme here.
Just absolute domination on Blood Covenant here. 30 seconds left. Spart1e, a little bit of a tri-bolt party. There's two quick rails. Almost a third from CNZ. Might get a frag on the board. He wants it. And there it is. CNZ's like, I'm not getting shut out like that. There's another rail off the spawn. Potentially another one as he has the vision. Just waiting like Predator. I see you. Misses with the follow-up rail. 10 seconds left. Can he get this frag? Maybe he has a little bit of a confidence boost. And there's the Ghost Walk, and that's the dagger in the heart. It's like, not even one. Not even one.
GG though, Spart1e bringing it back, putting us at level pegging. You could tell he really did not want to give up that kill at the end at Nails.
Yeah.
But it happened. I'm sure he'll still feel good moving into map 3, which, speaking of which, is Ruins. Again,
the potential for more rail craziness from Spart1e on Ruins it could hurt. I mean, Sparty played really well. The control was fantastic. The defensive play, a bit of a misstep there from CNZ, not getting rail when he had the opportunity instead of going for damage, as you mentioned. But you could see it kind of cost him. Sparty had the upper hand with all of these brilliant rail shots.
And it just was really getting into the flow of things, too. I mean, how many rails in a row was he hitting at certain points? It was outstanding. And actually, when we finish these highlights, we've got some interesting points because we've got some very curious champion matchups coming over, possibly all of the last 3 maps of the series.
You leave Keel alone.
I've got nothing.
Peculiar.
I didn't say anything, all right? Don't judge
I saw you roll your eyes at me.
And this, I love this.
1,
Look
2,
at that
3.
Boom.
Like, I don't even need a rail. I could use rockets as well. I mean, when Sparty's playing like this, it's terrifying.
Yeah. And he seems to deliver these kind of performances when he gets to land. There's something, he has that confidence when he gets into the arena. And what we've been looking for, 49% rail overall, but he fired a lot of rails. I expect that to be in excess of 15 to 1600 plus damage with that weapon. I mean, the rockets mattered a bit. Doesn't really, it was just rail.
Yeah, I mean, not afraid. If it's working, just you know, why not stick with it?
So we've got Ruins. We should have Eisen of CNZ and Ranger of Sparty. Sparty is a very good Ranger player, in my opinion. Not just in the offensive capacity, but he's very smart with the Dire Orbs to use it as misdirection, to make the great escapes happen with it that we've seen countless times throughout the QPL Stage 1. We have got a strong champion pick for CNZ. It's Eisen, who's very meta, so to speak. But I feel like the signature dish is there from Sparty on his champion Ranger. Then moving over to Awoken, we've got Death Knight for Sparty and BJ for CNZ. I think that CNZ's going to be pretty comfortable in that matchup. And then Slash and Keel at the end, I think it could go either way. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit skeptical about the Keel.
How dare you?
Just a little bit.
How dare
Enough
you?
to tell you.
At least we're honest.
But
that's important in this relationship. But you know what else is important? This map number 3 coming up between CNZ and Sparty, as this is the last relegation match for the day. Is CNZ going to make his way into the Quake Pro League, or is Sparty going to put a stop to, well, his party? As CNZ gets the Mega and the Rockets right off the bat, holding that T-Con position, not yet deploying the Wally. Grabs the 50 shard. He wants a little bit of heavy MG and possibly Rail and LG. Sparty waiting right outside the tele exit. Wants to do a little bit of damage on this LG, I'm sure.
Often overlooked on this map, the HMG, going out of the way for that spawn in the lower light position, but CNZ getting the job done early. He's got the trifecta and more to work with. And now we've got Heavy coming up. Sparty is there, but he'll take a rail for his troubles. And CNZ's just going to blip his way up to the top and make sure that there's no giving away 2 major items.
Decent gap between the items now, as Heavy's going to be next. CNZ knows it, and he does have the Wally, so he could pre-deploy down here and set up shop and try and win this out and then make his way back to the Mega. It's all a matter of where Sparty might show up from here. CNZ early to the party. And no contest.
So I'm expecting Sparty to be defending on Mega Health. He was there almost as early for it as CNZ was for the Heavy. The game has gone very slow. They've exchanged, I think the damage exchange is only that rail really that CNZ landed. My memory serves me well. I doubt.
I think so. Relatively quiet, a minute 30 in here. CNZ again has free reign over this Heavy, uncontested. Sparty's completely okay with that. Now I can't help but think that Sparty's waiting up top for the timing, and CNZ waiting for the timing of Mega, as both players just completely delaying their item.
This is just the mind game. It's like, who's going to make the sound cue first?
You first. You take.
No,
you.
No, you. No, you're going to take it because you don't want me to hang around. Oh, okay, no, I'll take. Oh, no, you go for it.
This is fantastic.
So I remember this play once a long time ago. I think Kilson was involved, and he was in this position against somebody, and he ended up just sneaking all the way up to the teleporter through rail to try and get something to go on. But I think he'd let off a sound cue, so. But there's like a lesson of history there that maybe makes CNZ think, you know what, maybe it's not worth trying the same thing.
At that point, you almost psych yourself out as we're 2:30 in, still 0-0, because I've been casting with you too much. CNZ waiting patiently.
They're waiting for mistakes from each other. They're waiting for someone to make a sort of positional error where they can punish somehow. So we're getting this crazy standoff going on, but neither player's really giving in properly. CNZ goes through the route where his turret is, so he knows it's safe. 2 rails in a row, though. The sparks go flying. And CNZ, is he going to go back to Old Faithful and just hang around the heavy, or does he want to kind of go exploring a little bit? So I felt like 2 rails in, you can usually push with that, but that approach there, I think it was sensible to back off. Just surprising he didn't find another way in.
It looks like CNZ bought a condominium down in heavy armor as he's just hanging out, no problem. Inviting spart1e in, but spart1e doesn't want to come over, so...
Free ticket, spart1e, are you sure?
Free drinks, spart1e. It's a little bit of a rocket towards a T-Con, but that won't net him any information. Heavy's going to be next. Minor split between the items as Mega will shortly follow. Can he find this angle just right on the other side of that wall as now both players playing extremely quietly. There's the rocket.
CNZ's not a player I'd expect to play the mind games quite as much as this. I think he's usually a bit more sort of default play, very good at this sort of ABC, does that to perfection, but he's really trying to get into spart1e's head too. And that's where you see this kind of, the mind games, the competition being more than just, you know, how you manipulate the map, how good you are mechanically. It's how can you stress your opponent. A little bit of damage appears, but CNZ will back away. 5 seconds still heavy. His stack is slightly below. Good positioning for CNZ to back away and not get hit by that die roll. That was incredibly smart from him, but it has allowed spart1e to do a rocket jump up and to get himself 2 major items. CNZ's very aware of this. Backs away for the light armor, but spart1e going to look to pressure fairly soon. He's not kept a lot of his overstack, so what a strange turn of events we've had on the items.
That was just really well timed by spart1e. He was like, I'm tired of this. I'm breaking into that condo, but this isn't the fight he wants as Wally's popping off as well. And the LG with 2 HP. CNZ takes that frag. spart1e trying to force the issue, and CNZ is extremely weak. Can spart1e find him off the spawn?
Are you kidding me there? CNZ with the confidence, with the turret, that's something that can make the difference. The rail for a rail, he needs to back away now. He knows that the mega health should be up soon. A little bit anxious for it to appear, but everything is good for him. I also want to compliment CNZ more, so I think he's been so aware of spart1e's capabilities with Ranger, and he seems to be accounting for everything.
Doing a great job there. Again, just making heavy armor his home, conceding when he needs to, but for the most part, he owns that item in this duel right now. And I don't know if the spart1e actually thought that was a good all-in, or if he just got a little bit impatient, in contrast to like how Dewey would play, and he wants the 99% duel.
spart1e's play beforehand with the orb in, I think was a very, very solid play, but there was like a 200 IQ maneuver, a positioning from CNZ. And I think spart1e was maybe expecting him to back off when they actually did go for that exchange. The next exchange, sorry. CNZ's starting to get a little bit comfortable at the moment. His control is looking good. It's up to spart1e to make a move. CNZ still has to respect that orb the way he has been the entire game. So he can't get impatient to just want to extend the lead, because that could lead him into mistakes. And spart1e, you know, a little bit of him is going to be trying to hope that he does make mistakes. Is there a way he can force those mistakes out?
Doesn't look like it. CNZ is playing very, very defensive and very, very to his own agenda here, not willing to go out of the way on anything, really. And with the frag lead, you don't have to. Pressure's on. 3:30 left. But spart1e just needs to find one good opening, similar to when he did with that dire orb play. He stole the heavy on that one. This time he's going to need to find a frag off that play. But look at that, creeping up. A little bit of rocket damage from CNZ. He is going to concede the mega. spart1e's going to take that. Needs to be careful not to take that Wally turret, though, as another one gets deployed immediately after. Again, CNZ putting his stamp down on the lower area here. There's the orb again, all in. He's going to be caught between, and that's exactly what CNZ wanted. spart1e gets caught out, Knight at the Roxbury style between CNZ and Wally, and that's 2 frags up for CNZ.
That positioning of the turret was deadly, going straight through the little pillars of heavy, and it's like, yeah, this is 100% accuracy for my turret.
Great rail from CNZ there as well. His stack is gigantic. He's hitting his rails. He's looking stronger and stronger, and the clock is ticking. And this is going to be brutal for spart1e trying to get back into this here if CNZ just sticks to this game plan.
Watch out, missed shot. He has taken some damage.
Oh,
wow, stray rocket, 100
dunk.
damage. Thank you, please. That's just as the light armor's been taken as well, I believe. Yep, it's gone. Oh, he picks them out anyway. spart1e shows his face, and honestly, what an unusual ruins, but what smart plays that we've been getting from CNZ. This is still 2 minutes to go. There's still chances for spart1e to make it back in, and he doesn't want to take his foot off the gas at the wrong moment. He's looking to land some damage, but spart1e is actually the one putting on a lot more pressure. 10 seconds until the mega health. CNZ's got to get ready to get out of here a bit, as there's going to be the orb up again in just a couple of seconds' time.
Absolutely doesn't need to linger around those areas here. So he's waiting above the big jump pad. Is he going to try and drop down for the heavy? The turret's going to give him the information. And with a minute 30 left, 3 frags up, he doesn't need to do anything crazy. spart1e needs to try and figure out a way into this fight. There's the rocket jump up. The rocket from CNZ will miss. spart1e takes over the mega area, but items at this point don't mean anything. A minute 20 left. There's the turret deployed on the stairs for a little bit of a body block and information play. And with a minute 15, time tick, tick, tick away, and this could be another W for CNZ.
It could be, but spart1e, I think, is going to play this heavy, and then he's going to chase, and he's going to start leaving up items, which gives CNZ a chance to turn the control back into his favor, but only if he can be defensive successfully. That's going to rely on hitting a rail, hitting a couple of rockets maybe, because spart1e, he's going to come in, and there's going to be no stopping from him. He tries to all back up, he misses it. He has hit a direct rocket. CNZ going to fight his way out. 5 HP, there's the LG. spart1e now properly on the board, with still seconds to go in the game where he can force the spawns out.
30 seconds left, down by 2. He needs to grab this heavy and just move, but finding CNZ on this map could be nearly impossible right now. As he does catches him out. Oh, the rocket's so fantastic from CNZ. Wow.
He hit that direct just as spart1e was about to hit the floor again. Now spart1e, he's running out of time. He built up one fantastic opportunity earlier on, but CNZ has been playing excellently this map. This is going to be the challenger putting himself in position to take the win and take that spot in QPL. 2-1 for CNZ now.
Nice and easy. Again, a pretty slow play from both players there. CNZ not afraid to set up shop down in the heavy and just kind of take those perfect fights. spart1e maybe getting a little bit more, I feel like he was getting a little bit antsy playing with the Dire Orb, going all in, getting caught out with the turret, and that's exactly what CNZ wanted.
It is what CNZ wanted, but I almost feel that CNZ didn't expect his strategy to work out as well as it did, because spart1e's so good at faking people out with the orb, but somehow CNZ turned spart1e into the fakey, if that makes sense.
It was a double-double.
Yeah.
Double negative. And triple negative.
We had this crazy mind games with who's going to pick up the major item next. They're trying to get into each other's heads. Who's going to get stressed out by it the most? How do they want to manage the rotations of the items? Because then it forces you to go for the mega first in order to, if you want to take both of the items, otherwise you've got that whole defensive spirit because you can challenge each other. And CNZ was just rock steady. I felt like there were flavors of cooler, like, influenced plays there.
I mean, you did mention that he spars with him consistently, so...
And that's the kind of stuff that Cooler likes to do. He likes to be awkward of the items sometimes. He likes to play with the information that you have available. And it felt like CNZ is kind of taking leaves or pages out of Cooler's book and applying it in his own system.
A fantastic rail.
Wow.
There. Let's not underestimate that.
That's
Hitting
crazy.
great rails.
His LG is not too shabby either.
Yeah.
46%, looking really, really good from him. And yeah, I mean, we get ourselves onto Awoken. I actually saw spart1e probably winning that map, to be honest. But now we go BJ versus DK on Awoken. I think CNZ can actually take this map. It's going to be about being headstrong at the moment, and also how much determination is spart1e going to have to keep himself going through this bracket.
Yeah, do or die for spart1e right now, as this could be the final map that puts CNZ in the Quake Pro League officially. spart1e, just look at that. Full focus. He doesn't care. Another day at the office. This is fine. Everything's fine.
So spart1e is so dominant at this stages of the tournament, but we're seeing what kind of level of competition we've got at the Quake Pro League Stage 1 finals. There's a lot of exceptional talent out here. We're getting into map 4, guys. It's Awoken, CNZ and spart1e. We've got BJ versus DK. Let's get the show going again.
Is this going to be the last relegation map? CNZ hopes so. spart1e going to try and do his best to make sure that it's not. spart1e getting that LG and tri-bolt right now. Looking for that rail shot. A little bit of tri-bolt towards the T-Con for a little bit of information. He'll get 1 bolt. Ooh, that's a nice little damage there. A little sprinkle.
A little peppering.
A little peppering.
Ooh, that's more than just a peppering right there. spart1e wants to get out a bit. That was starting to hurt a lot. We have got the heavy up. It's a decent rocket, but you know he's still
huge rocket. Wow, CNZ pulls that one out. spart1e hit everything, but even though he's on fire, CNZ is actually taking the frag and kind of taking his time to put out the flames.
It was all those resources that he had in the back. He had everything going. spart1e was hitting amazingly, but just did not have the health and armor to back up the quality of play.
Needs to be very careful here as he drops down to the heavy a little bit early. The missed rail from CNZ could cost him 58 HP, and the rocket defensively is phenomenal. That is absolutely fantastic placement. CNZ with another great rail. He can push in on this one. There's the dual wield for a little bit of extra insurance, and he will get his second frag on Awoken, looking strong right off the bat. Moving towards that T-Con immediately to get all the information he can. I think he heard spart1e, and now he's working for the cutoff. There's a little bit of tri-bolt. Nothing will land. The LG comes out. spart1e with a great rail. Rocket lands for CNZ. Nothing too major, though, as he drops down, grabs the heavy. spart1e does as much damage as he can, but needs to be careful. Oh. The rail's fantastic. 18 HP, but the Mega's right there to heal CNZ back up.
CNZ's rail is really fun to watch, actually. There's something so smooth about it. Oh, he just pulls away from the angle at the wrong moment. Could'ves, would'ves.
Should'ves. As he should have hung in there for that rail, but 2-0 up. He's feeling pretty good, spamming some nails outside the telly. And dual wield is back up. Heard the jump pad, grabbed the heavy, so his resources pretty good stack there. As he's managing his resources well. Great flame strike there.
Yeah, really, really nice to close up that choke point and make sure spart1e can get himself that free major item. Love to see it. Almost had his back turned to spart1e, who's going to come around the tri-bolt corner in a second. Or is he?
The double negative. The fake of the fake of the fake. CNZ trying to get some information from that rocket. Okay, you're not in T-Con, that's fine. Mega's going to be up soon. I'm going to take that. Oh no, he drops down and actually loses position on it. Does have a rail. Both players missing. CNZ needs more rockets, and he's just going to have to try and fight for this heavy. It's not going to be up for another 15 seconds. So Mega goes to spart1e, uncontested, no damage at all. But again, the frag lead is in CNZ's hands.
So CNZ has this tendency of doing this, where he's kind of, I'm happy to give up items to you, because you just have the, because you expect someone to challenge you and you have that information on them so you can fight the fight predictably. CNZ makes it very difficult to read. The LG damage is just astronomical. Now got rockets. He had the light armor behind him to help out a little bit. spart1e very weak at the moment. Mega health is up. There's going to be a rail, but spart1e's still looking okay. Up the top on tri-bolt. Great read from spart1e.
spart1e punishes the fact that CNZ tried to test him right there. It was looking very strong for CNZ, but spart1e turns that around. There's the rocket through the drive-through window. No dice, the rail just missing out. spart1e just looking for all this damage, and somehow CNZ just flies by all of it. Kind of like Mr. Magoo in traffic.
Pretend I understood that.
Oh, gee. There's the LG. There's a flame strike on top of the Mega. The LG comes out. It's shaft on shaft, and CNZ gets the frag and the Mega, standing his ground through the fire and the flames.
His LG's been looking good, right? He's been hitting like...
He's got a strong LG, I'll say that. His rail's not bad either.
I mean, I talk about how CNZ's been underestimated in the community. I mean, I think we're underestimating his aim.
I think after this, everyone's going to put a little bit of respect on his name here. He is popping dual wield at weird times, and there's another LG on LG battle. spart1e trying to stand his ground. He's going to get forced out. 20 or less HP. Can he land anything? The rail comes out, and it won't land. spart1e doing a great job of peppering and evening the stacks. CNZ, please, machine gun it exists. It's great. I promise.
I think he's just been feeling his rail. Oh, he picks him out anyway. spart1e was still vulnerable to that shot. Looking for the spawn damage. Won't quite find it. It's quite hard to hit it these days, with the spawns having been changed.
We are now officially at the halfway point.
Oh,
what a rocket. Misses with the follow-up rail, but CNZ looking strong here. Might try and drop down and get extra damage by the drive-through window. Dual LGs come out. spart1e has to fight for his life here. CNZ's so patient. 43 HP. Rockets won't land. Barely getting some damage off, and that's a very, very close fight there. spart1e fortunate to survive.
Yeah, very fortunate. CNZ been so low on ammunition. Again, he's not going to challenge on the heavy, but he's getting that chip damage away. There's going to be a challenge from spart1e going up the bounce pad, and he just runs into all sorts of nail damage. 5-1 at the moment for CNZ. Now he's getting the LG ammo back in. He's going to go through a flame strike. We're still feeling good with his aim, but it's not going to work. spart1e gets one back. That was probably the most confident move I've seen from CNZ when it was maybe at the wrong moment. And he's got to hope that he doesn't pay for it too much. He hits a big rail, though. 12 health left for spart1e.
A little bit overzealous indeed. 12 HP. spart1e extremely weak. 4 minutes left for 3 frags. I believe in a thing called love here. Are we going to go to the 5th map? Is spart1e going to put his foot down, or is CNZ going to get that Pro League spot? We are less than 4 minutes away from finding out. 3 frags. spart1e needs to find them. No rail on hand. A little bit low on rockets. He's going to grab a little bit more health. Does have Flame Strike available too. There's a great defensive rail from CNZ as he's going to play the hit and run game. Hits another one on his way out towards the Mega. And spart1e's got to be increasingly frustrated as he has to concede that Mega and try and make another loop around. And that rail almost hit as well.
He seems surprised that, oh, I took the heavy and I've lost that much damage. Oh wow, the damage that CNZ's done already, 30 HP. And he's going to be pushing around the corner. Good rockets from spart1e. Tries to find the closer. Takes him down to 9 health. But CNZ, he extends his advantage as we get into the late stages of this critical map.
CNZ pulling away. This could be a full sweep of new blood today in the relegation stage here. 3 minutes away. There's the Mega pickup. spart1e pushing in. Flame Strike out. Dual wield forced out by CNZ as he's on fire. 25 to extinguish the flames. No big deal. 100 HP, no armor. spart1e a bit crippled after that fight. Can't really do anything about it except for pick up the heavy, but he's still low on HP. Oh, what a rail.
Nasty damage. CNZ's got to be very careful at the moment. There's a chance that spart1e's control is just going to go into an enormous amount. Brilliant weapon switches from him. Now CNZ's not going to have any of the weapons. He doesn't have the rotation of the major items. And he's running out of these light armors that spart1e's picking up, but this out-of-control damage from CNZ is pretty massive. And heavy's up in a second, and spart1e's nowhere to be seen there. CNZ catches him there, and he thinks, okay, maybe I can drop down and pick up the item myself.
Oh,
Here's
no.
the drop from spart1e, and it's all going wrong for him. 7-3. I think spart1e did everything right, but he just that momentary lapse of concentration on heavy when normally he is flawless with that.
And then dropping down onto the lightning, never a good thing to do. 7-3. CNZ pulling away. 2 minutes left. Needs a little bit more rockets. Can't really fight now. He does have rail and LG, and he's just going to start playing defensive. This is it. He's going to dig in on this heavy. spart1e needs to push. There's one good rocket spamming, making sure that heavy is not for free here. But he needs to push in and try and get the frag. There's the Flame Strike. Almost defensive at this point. Needs to be more offensive as spart1e down to 50 HP, but there's not enough time for this. Down 4 frags. All the pressure's on, and CNZ is completely okay just playing this the way he is. A little bit passive, landing the damage. There's a good rail. Needs another one, but can't find the opening. 1 minute and 10 seconds until CNZ gets his spot in the Quake Pro League. There's a quick rail as he's on the hunt. spart1e needs to push in whenever he can. From the T-Con, the Mega's going to go away. The dual wield from CNZ is too strong. Minute left, Zoot. This is it.
This is it. I love the dual wield pop as well to defend that Mega health. Now there's a choke point they can block, and spart1e is going to fall. It's starting to look like it's victory lap time for CNZ. 15 HP. He's going to still try to keep it together. Don't want to take those extra little bit of risks. But what a series we have had from CNZ.
And as you said, I think after this is the stage to make a name for yourself. And he starts off by kicking spart1e out of Quake Pro League. That's a huge feat.
3-1 as well. I mean, when he was winning, I mean, some of the style that we're getting from him, the clear mind games and the way that he plays with control, his rail aim, his LG aim, it's been a blessing for us to watch. This is possibly the last fight of the game, as we've just got a few seconds left. spart1e will get himself a kill, but it is too little, too late, guys. It is GG. CNZ will be the 4th player to get into the Quake Pro League.
A clean sweep. The new blood reigns supreme today, as we saw, sadly, spart1e's last kill in Quake Pro League.
Yeah, it's spart1e actually played some very, very solid games today. We saw a tiny error of control, but you know that can be the difference sometimes between whether you're going to make that comeback or not. spart1e overall was great. We saw how amazing his rail was with the Nyx. That was unbelievable. But CNZ has just been astonishingly good, and I think we're probably going to get some words from Jorasar in just a moment on the stage.
Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations once more to CNZ. We now have all 4 of our challengers into the Quake Pro League. This must come as a relief for you. Talk to me about how hard you worked to get to this point.
Oh, it was really hard because I had to play too much with one of the best players in the world, Cypher, in the Challenger. And other players were too strong. And so that's just hard to get.
That match in particular was quite back and forth at times, but you managed to triumph in the end. Where would you say you were stronger, or where did you have the edge on spart1e?
I think my stronger point was timing and aiming, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it was truly fantastic to watch. Congratulations once more. You, of course, are into the Quake Pro League Stage 2. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the Challengers part of the broadcast. But, of course, we will be back for the knockout bracket of the tournament. For now, though, we're going to head back to the desk to analyze how that match went down.
Thank you very much, Jorasar. It's great to hear from CNZ. We rarely get the chance to do that. He looks absolutely buzzing, very honest in terms of what do you think he did better to break it down a bit. I think actually his timing definitely was on. I talked about spart1e being the main timer, but CNZ, I think, we saw that level of control that he's been adopting.
It's very exciting to see him make it to the Quake Pro League, as everybody. A clean sweep of new blood. But that's just the beginning, Jahar. They punched their ticket into the league, but now they're going to have a rude awakening with all these new matches. And I just called you Jahar, yes, I know. As I see your face, and you were almost offended.
I don't know what to do with myself now. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I wasn't sure we were going to get 4 people to come through. I thought we could have going to have some people defending their spots, but things are going to be changing a lot in the next few weeks. But there's so much left to do this weekend. We get to see some of the highlights here from CNZ and spart1e. Yeah, truly phenomenal game, and you know, I'll just note it down just so that everybody knows, because I'm like that. I actually predicted correctly. This is going to be the one of the very few times it's going to happen this weekend, so be proud of me.
Get one. Everybody gets one. As we take a look at the match winner stats right there, well deserved from CNZ. But again, it's just kind of, okay, that's done and dusted. I'm in. Now I can panic about playing Wenger, because that is going to be a brutal matchup.
That's
hometown hero, 19+1. It's not going to be that easy.
It's
not going to be.
Not at all. It's going to be a very, very exciting game. I'm excited to see what the home crowd are going to be like. We've got a bracket that we can see to